All right, there we go. What's good, everybody? This is Silent Mode, maker, artist, and Lego enthusiast. If you didn't know about the stream, don't worry, because I just decided to do it maybe 10 minutes ago. Just thought I'd do something for a little bit of relevancy, but also because I have stuff to get out the way. First and foremost, a happy V-Day or Valentine's Day if you prefer, to everybody who's listening and or watching. Hope you have a great day today. I won't be doing very much except not existing, apparently. This is my Valentine's Day contribution for this year. You may have seen the shorts. I've already had people make fun of it, but I'm quite proud of this because, well, you'll notice it's a little bit different to an actual minifigure, but it's taken me a while to get to this stage where I can create something like this. And this took quite a long time to produce, but it can be assembled without glue. And I think it came out really nicely. It's something that I made this week, and I'm quite pleased with how it came out. But you know what? Haters gonna hate. How's it going, Alexandria? Thanks for stopping by. Glad you could be here at least for a few minutes. So there's a few things I wanted to get off my chest. First of all, this is for the OGs. You may remember that I had some of these minifigures and I built one of them, but I've assembled the rest of them, and there's a piece missing from one of them. But I was reminded that I had these by Never Too Old. He showcased these a while ago. Don't know if I'm going to do anything with them though. Also, I'm probably going to make a short about these. I'll put your comment on the screen just to show my appreciation. And I see there as well, Hoarder. How you doing, Hoarder? So I was going to make a short about these at some point. I just haven't had the motivation yet, but I wanted to show you guys my latest round of business cards. Happy V-Day to you, Alexandria, as well. So recently, in recent years, I've started producing these business cards showcasing the stuff that I build. And it's mainly to address the issue of, well, if somebody actually does show interest in what I do, then I should be able to show them examples of what I do. But this is the recent round, and you can see a few things that you may recognize, some that you may not. But each of these cards will feature something that I've built or designed, and each of them has a QR code which links to a links page on my website, which has recently just gone back up, and it's got my information at the back as well. Probably one of the most famous creations of mine. That's another creation that I did for a Valentine's Day. I want to say it was 2-3 years ago, perhaps. Well, it's got the year on it, so it was a couple of years ago. So I think it is, well, I've got quite a few different designs on these ones, but for anybody who buys something from me, or if you happen to see me at an event, these are the ones you're going to see. And you can collect them all if you want, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day today, and hopefully you're not drowning too much in chocolate or champagne or roses or whatever people get for Valentine's Day these days. All right, so those are them. And just a few moments ago, I actually finished updating the lighting on the vending machine. So you saw that I put some lights on the vending machine, and I've since gotten some new ones, and I've upgraded them. Thank you, Alexandria. And it looks pretty good. I just have to clean up the wiring, and then it's ready to go on the road. But let's not waste any more time. I wanted to show you guys a rather frivolous purchase that I made a couple of weeks ago. And there's not even enough room to show everything, but here it is. So on AliExpress, you guys know I've been buying a few things on AliExpress. I have bought some blank minifigures. These came from a Chinese seller, and I think I may have gone overboard because I've ordered quite a few of them. But we're going to see exactly what I have and how well they compare to actual Lego minifigures. So in the family stripe colors, I have some blue ones, some black ones, some yellow ones. What's this? Even got some silver ones. Got some purple ones. You can't particularly see them very well because of the lighting here. We have some white ones. And we should have some dark stone gray ones right here. And I've also ordered some additional colors. We've got some silvery ones here. We have some supposedly gold ones. These are more of a pearl gold color, as it turns out. We have some transparent blue ones. How's it going, Never Too Old? Thanks for joining in, and hope you're having a great day today. Got some transparent black ones. Just going through some minifigures I bought as part of my midlife crisis. Some transparent ones. And I've also asked the seller to send me just a selection of figures in random colors. So that's what we have here. So I think, excuse me, I'm going to build the random color ones. Yes, indeed. Happy V-Day to everybody again. Hope you guys receive as much chocolate, champagne, caviar, silk underwear, all that good stuff that people typically get. I, on the other hand, am just sitting at home with my new army of minifigures. I want to see what they gave me in terms of a random selection. You have to be careful sometimes because some people have a very different definition of random, as you may discover. And then you have a red one, appropriate for Valentine's Day. We have what looks like a light or medium stone gray. We have another black one. We have a dark blue one. Regular blue. This one resembles a dark azure. This one more resembles a medium blue. We have looks like a regular green. We have a white one, a lime one, a pink one that looks like bright lights orange. This one, I want to say it's resembling sand blue. I have a dark orange one. This one is in a different bag for some reason, but this looks like a flesh tone or a nougat one. This one looks like medium azure. An olive green. This one's a dark tan. This one's a dark green. And this one is a magenta. So at first glance, these look like they match Lego colors very, very well. And I'm glad that these are all unique colors. Let's have a go at putting one together. Let's see how well they go together. All right, not too bad so far. So for full disclosure, I have heard that there's a fundraising event going on today. At least I think it started today. And it's a 48-hour stream raising money for charity. I have said before that I wouldn't be taking part in any capacity. And it's a long story as to why I'm not, but I don't wish them any ill will. I just won't be participating or contributing. So yeah, this actually goes together very well. It's actually rather convincing, a little bit stiff, but I think we would want that. So that's the magenta minifigure. So the main reason I got these is because I have started using blank minifigures instead of regular ones in my creations. I don't actually have that many creations since I started doing it, but it's purely an artistic thing that I wanted to have blank minifigures in different colors. And it does serve a purpose, actually. I don't get so caught up in having the right facial expressions or the right clothes or anything like that. And it's kind of a signature as well. I think it's something that's going to catch on, although there's always a risk being one of the first people to do this that we're going to get made fun of or ridiculed or whatever. People won't get it. Never mind. That's the lime one. At least it's not raining over here today. I somehow don't think that's a coincidence, but it's okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I've almost forgot. If you wanted to join the chats, if you wanted to go live with me, just let me know. I'll post the invite link here. I'm using Talk Studio right now. This is the dark green one. Should probably have a plate to put these on. Yeah, I can use that. Yeah, I'll hopefully be able to tune into Never Too Old's Valentine's Day stream later, if that's still going ahead. I'll be watching rather than participating because I don't have a V-Day build. I think this is... I almost want to say this is black, but It's a little bit lighter. I'm not entirely sure. Hello there, Little L Bricks. You're up early, but thanks for stopping by. Give you adequate screen time there. This is going to be another boring streamer. It's just me assembling these third-party minifigures. This is the first time I'm doing so because I've had these sitting here for a while, and it's about time I did something with them. So they come completely disassembled, as most third-party things do. So it's a chance for me to see how well everything fits together. You're actually up late. How's everything with the housing? I know you had some problems with housing recently. Yeah, this one's a little bit tricky to put on. There we go. Maybe I should have made this a 24-hour stream, just putting together a whole bunch of minifigures. So in total, I've ordered about 250 of these minifigures in the different colors. And I want to say, I actually don't know how much it costs. I've completely forgotten, but it was quite an investment. Actually, it's certainly the most I've spent on AliExpress in one go. All right, so Lil has reorganized everything in the studio, getting back on his feet. That's always good news. Hopefully nothing's been damaged. Yes, I like the colors. Looking at Alexandra's comment there, I do like the colors. I like the random selection that was provided. If you do happen to buy these figures, you've got the option of asking for random colors, or you can specify which colors you want if you don't need so many. If I remember correctly, you order these in batches of 10. So you'll get 10 of each color. And I'm pretty sure there are other places you can order single minifigures as well. All right, I must have missed that live stream, Lil L. Looks like I'll have plenty to watch tonight. Okay, how many of these random ones do I have? 8, 10, there must be 20 of them. Okay. So folks, do you have any plans for the rest of the day? I don't have any plans. Actually, I tell a lie. I would like to I'd like to put out at least one short tonight. I think it's going to be a very interesting one. It may even get me into trouble. Hang on. Never Too Old says the new Predator movie's out on Disney. Since when was Predator Disney? Okay, well, I guess you can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Predator released on 20th Century Fox? the original movie. If that's the case, then that makes sense then, because Disney owns 20th Century Fox now. Otherwise, I have absolutely no idea. Now, Little L, you know that's not true. You have a wife, and you have other family members as well. But I appreciate the joke though. Yeah, Diz. Yeah, you may as well call them Disnets. But yeah, Disney owns Fox. They own way too much now. I also predict that they'll own Lego at some point, but that's neither here nor there. I know you're being sarcastic. Mind you, if you happened to have a wife and family members, and it was true that nobody loves you, that would be a significant problem. Anyway, just thinking about these, you'd want them to be quite hard to put together, because obviously you want to keep them posable. You don't want bits falling off, etc. So far this is pretty good. I wonder if anyone would notice if I use these at a fan event. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm actually waiting for an Amazon order, because I had to order something in order to get just a couple of parts to be able to make the short that I have planned for tonight. That may get me in trouble. I'm grateful that I'm able to do that. I don't know if they're going to arrive during this live stream or not. They probably will. It's all good either way. But, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so far I would say that the colors are quite close matches to actual Lego colors. Got green. Okay, just give me a second. I will post the link to I'll post the link if anybody wants to jump in and keep everybody entertained. That's green. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's use this responsibly. You don't have to, of course, but There it is, just in case. Got what Lego calls bright pink now. What do I plan on doing with these? Most of these, especially in the family stripe colors, they're going to be used as part of my future creations. So whenever a minifigure is needed, I'll just use one of these as placeholders. And I think the colors that I probably wouldn't use, I'll just go in my collection for display. Got an olive green one here. No problem, never too old. This is really an exercise for the fingers, though. Yeah. All right, let's experience some flesh or nougat, as they call it. And I guess here's another thing. If you wanted minifigure parts in a particular color, for example, back in the day, I really could have used some flesh legs or perhaps minifigure hips in the yellow or something like that. These are a fairly good way to get around that issue, as long as you're using it for your own use and not trying to sell or pass anything on, I'd say. Oh, got an extra hand. Nice. That's the first time I've seen that. All right, so that is 13 of them made so far. Yep. If you wanted to make naked Lego figures, this is a way of doing it, because for the most part, Lego wouldn't allow you to do something like that. Oh, this one's no, that's not it. It's a little debris on my desk. Okay, I'm going to put this one here. Okay, that's a white one. I'm just going to check something really quickly. Oh yeah, I got time. There we go. Yeah, there are quite a few things I want to do this year. Even now, there's a whole bunch of things I am thinking about doing. It's just making the time, having the motivation, and a lot of the problem is to do with motivation. For me, anyway, there's always the idea that I can do something and it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. It's not going to get any likes or views or even comments. It's not going to be seen as good. And I have to keep reminding myself, the most important thing is that I actually do it. Oh dear, this this one hasn't fared very well. The hand doesn't go all the way in. I've actually broken the hands. You'll see there, the plastic started to bend. So yeah, I'd say it's a tough situation. On the one hand, I want to do something. I have the freedom to do these things. On the other hand, I, in quotes, know that it's not going to have the kind of impact that I'd like it to have. So then the question becomes, do I do it? And I think the motivation behind it is what's going to give us the answer. Anyway, enough philosophy. So this is meant to resemble dark tan, I believe. And personally, I think it's not quite the same, but it looks a little bit nicer than dark tan. It looks a little bit warmer. Yeah, I definitely agree. We should do what makes us the happiest. Um, I certainly agree with that. I guess it's the principle. We want to do what makes us happy, but it also helps if we can. This is where I put my leftist hat on. It also helps if we can share that joy with other people. And honestly, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter who you are. There's something a little disappointing when others aren't as over, or others don't have the same joy as we do when it comes to something that we've created. But it is important that above all else we do the things that we enjoy. As I was saying earlier in the live stream at the very beginning, I created this figure, and I'm proud of how this figure turned out. Um, Assembled without using glue. It took just over a day to produce everything. I've already had people making fun of it. One person saying it would give them nightmares. Another person saying that it was goofy. But you know what? I kind of expected it anyway because it's something that most people haven't seen before, and I got enjoyment out of designing it and making it. I think in time, especially if somebody else does the same thing, exactly the same thing, people will come to appreciate it. But you know, I'm not letting those comments take away from what's essentially an achievement. I think I'm gonna have to get some of those tweezers I've seen, or those pliers that I've seen online. Maybe that's another AliExpress order. Especially if I'm going to be assembling all these minifigures. Okay. One more. And that is Valentine's Red. Yes, indeed, Alexandria. And that is exactly what I've been battling over the last, I want to say 5 and a bit years. It's all very well saying that we're going to do things anyway, which is the fifth rule for living. But there's always been that fear of, what if, there's the creating part and then there's putting it out. And there's always been that fear of what will happen if I put things out and it gets a negative reaction, or no reaction. And I actually don't know which one is worse. But I think we got to do it anyway, because if we don't, then somebody else will. And that person is going to get all the credit. At least if we put it out and people say they don't like it, and then somebody else puts the same thing out and people automatically like it, we can see that it was not necessarily the idea that was bad. It was the perception of who put it out first. For example, just this morning, I caught a bit of Brick Hive's rant, and he had on a Fiends t-shirt, which was the Friends logo, but with the R taken out. Now, I know you guys aren't going to believe me, but I had a similar idea many, many years ago. I just didn't act on it. The point is that somebody else did, and now that person's getting the credit. Oh well. So as a grand finale, I'm going to put together the family stripe colors. You've already seen the black and the white ones and the blue ones, but we have the purple, yellow, and dark stone gray ones to assemble. All right, let's start with the yellow one, aka the naked figure. Oh, okay, the sun has subsided a little bit. I hope it's not going to rain again because I plan on getting some air eventually. There we go. That's yellow. Um, I suppose I could use this for reference. See, it's very convincing, isn't it? It's a very convincing yellow match. Whoops. What's next? Get the white one out the way. Okay, that was a little challenging, but that's okay. Purple, if we're going in reverse order, that's the one that's next. Where'd the leg go? Seem to be missing a leg. Unless it dropped somewhere. I don't think it did. That's not good. That is not good. Let's see if I can find another one. Which set have you started building, Alexandria? Yeah, I'm hoping that's just an oversight on my part, but that leg seems to have gone missing. Or the Paris architecture set. Let me have a very quick look. I'm wondering if it's the same one that I did a few years ago. Oh no, it's not. It's the one. I'm guessing it's the one that looks like a postcard. The newer one that looks like a postcard. Oh, that's interesting. They had to replace several pieces to make it work. I just thought about it, and it's very interesting seeing how the architecture theme has, I'm not going to say it's evolved, but it's certainly changed. It used to be about the buildings themselves, but now it's basically resembling postcards, overly stylized postcards. And I got to say, without trying to be a grouch or whatever, I preferred the architecture theme when it was about the buildings rather than trying to make them look like pretty postcards. Okay, there was the controversy in the beginning about the sets looking very simplistic, but being charged goodness knows how much more to make them. But it was really more architecture. It was really more about learning the history behind the buildings, the people who designed them, etc. And what we have right now doesn't resemble anything like that. But if people enjoy it, then that's great. Well, even the set that I bought to get the parts that I would like to make the short tonight. Um, I had to go on Amazon to get it discounted because I refuse to buy sets at full price unless I really want them. It definitely looks as if the sets are getting more expensive and prohibitively expensive these days. I mean, in comparison, a Speed Champion set used to be 20. Now it's now it's being sold for 23. And I guess I just don't have as much fanaticism for the brand to want to buy sets at full price. But yeah, as Brick Hive suggested on his rant this morning, there are always going to be people who will buy those things, the um, whatever price they set. There are always going to be people queuing up to buy them and doing whatever. So that's who Lego's audience is these days. Just going to do a very quick comparison between these. Yeah, it looks as if they're both meant to be black figures. So there we go. So let's have a look. Alexandria says she heard that the next architecture set is going to be over 3,000 pieces. So we would probably be looking at a £400 architecture set. Do you know what the set is going to be of? Not that I would buy it anyway. Not that I probably would have any interest in it, but I'd be curious to know what the set would be of. Okay, but yeah, somehow they know it's going to be over 3,000 pieces. Interesting. Yep. I am not excited. There is, I guess you could call it being jaded. I guess you could call it being cynical or whatever, but there's nothing I can think of that would make me excited about anything that Lego's doing. Even if they said, you know what, we're going to collaborate with Silent Mode on a set that's going to raise money for charity, I wouldn't be excited about that. I really wouldn't. There isn't anything I've heard of or anything I've seen that I'd be excited about owning. Probably the closest would be the Speed Champions DeLorean, but that's about it. So he built the Taj Mahal and the Great Pyramid from I think they're architecture sets. How did you find those? Were they difficult at all? I don't think no, I have actually built an architecture set, but it was one of the smaller ones. Okay, it looks as if I'm missing a leg from one of these figures. I'll have to get back in touch with the seller. Hopefully I've just made a mistake somewhere and it's lying around somewhere waiting for me to find it. But those are most of the figures I've received from AliExpress. I think for the time being, they're pretty good quality. And I would certainly look to use them in one of my future builds. I don't think anyone would really notice the difference. I do have some actual Lego minifigures to compare them to. So I'll probably do that at a later date. Give me a second. I'm going to answer the door. Okay. All right, so the set has arrived, and the set in question is this one. I'm pretty sure people have built it already, but I'm not building this at all. There are only a couple of bits from this set that I'm interested in. And this was the least expensive set that this part comes in at the moment. Don't forget to scan the points. Let's see if I can find them. First try. Don't think it's going to be in there. I'm going to guess it is in bag 3. Yes, indeed. So I bought this set just for these 2 parts. And currently there are only 3 sets that contain this part. This was the least expensive of them. So I finally have them, so I can go ahead and make my shorts. And then I'm pretty sure there are some cool pieces in there which I can use for my own stuff and perhaps sell the rest. Anyhow, I've bored you guys long enough, so I'm going to give you guys back your time. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me in spirit, at least. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll probably see you guys in other people's streams later on. So until then, this has been Silent Mode, maker, artist, and Lego enthusiast. As always, encouraging you all to do your thing.